Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. 201st stream. Doesn't feel special. I'm Richard, at Richard on the MakeCode forum.
And I'm Daryl, at Darzoo on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Joey, at JWonderl on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Shannon, at Shakao on the MakeCode forums.
And I'm Vivian, at LiveTurf on the MakeCode forums.
And guys, we're back to what we know, back to what we're used to, which is making gardening games. How many gardening games have we made at this point? I think it's like at
12.
least 5.
Oh, yeah, at least 5.
80.
What can we say? We like gardening. But for those who haven't seen the previous streams in this kind of entry, what we're making is a fun little gardening game. It's going to be pretty different than the ones we normally make, which is it's going to have like a focus on combining plants. So putting them near each other so that they pollinate, and then getting weird new plants out of it. So real quick, I will go through what we've implemented so far, and then I'll take a brief look at the code, and then we'll get started. So far we have our adorable little crow farmer drawn by Shannon. And we've got a tile map that we can walk around in. The tile map's got a bunch of, like junk and stuff on it. We've also, if you press menu button, we've got a inventory that you can go through with some tools. The tools don't do anything yet. You've also got a score up here, which is your money. That's how we're storing your money right now. And if you walk over here, you can go over and see Old Man Crow, who will start talking to you and try to sell you some seeds. Fair prices. Come and get them. Yeah, and so he says a type of seed that you got. This is not what the actual seed is. It's what he thinks it is, because we figured it would be funnier if he just didn't know what he was selling. And yeah, so you can either buy 1, buy 10. No thanks. So I'll buy 10. Thanks, Old Crow.
What does that mean?
There's one born every minute. That means he's scamming you.
Oh, okay, cool. My vibes were correct. Very alarming.
And now if I press menu, oh look, there's my seeds.
You're self-spreading.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets a little cut off right now, but neat. And we don't have the number displayed yet in our inventory, but hopefully we can get that going today. And, if you walk back over, he'll start talking again, and, you can go away and he'll stop talking. Okay. So let's look at the code real quick. There's a lot of it, so we're just going to kind of do a brief overview. So we've got our onStart, where we're just initializing our character and making our 2 different maps and connecting them. We've also made this function called MakeTool. And this MakeTool function just makes something that goes in our inventory. So here we are making all of these items. The watering can, drawn by me, I think. Shovel, hoe, both drawn by me. And then gloves drawn by Vivian, who got the hardest job by far.
Don't worry, I have hands, so know what it's about.
Yeah.
Vivian's glove expert.
That's good. I don't want just anyone. All right, so then we got some button stuff. So for the menu, we've got these 2 functions, close and open inventory. And that's for making this appear. And we've also got the other kind of really important thing is this big old function right here. This is what's actually drawing our inventory, which actually isn't that much code. Then we've got some button handlers. We've got some random other functions. So this make tool makes a sprite. Get random seed creates a seed that our shopkeeper can sell. So they'll sell you a random one. And then we have some code for the conversation of our shopkeeper, which is right here. And this right here is where you purchase stuff. Yeah, so I think that pretty much covers it. I know that it's a lot to go over, but hopefully we'll still see some cool stuff today. And let's talk a little bit about the game mechanics. So I made this little post-it note last time with some plant ideas that we talked about. Yeah, so the type of things we're talking about. So we have like a self-spreading plant. That's a plant that'll just like keep planting itself. A tall plant is a plant that gets taller, and Vivian did some art for that one and for the self-spreading. We have a bubble plant, which was a recommendation from a forum user. I think it was Underwater Astronaut. Is that right?
Makes sense.
Yeah. Bubble plant, which turns into a diving helmet and lets you go underwater. Sprinkler plant waters the soil around it. Jovial plant says hello to you. Rude plant insults you when it sees you. Wanderer plant just walks around, follows random paths. Jumping plant jumps. Companion plant follows you around. Grabber plant picks up things and sets them down. Scaredy plant runs away from everything. Nomadic plant picks up and replants other plants. And a mole plant, which turns grass into soil and tills it. And so they might seem like just a bunch of random stuff, but it gets fun when you start combining them. So I put in a few recipe ideas. So we have our assistant, which is a companion plant that follows you around, and a grabber. And this will just make it so that if there's anything on the ground, they'll just pick it up and walk around with you. There's the auto tiller, which is a mole plus a wanderer. So it'll just go around to random tiles and just, till the ground for you. Have a bunch of places to plant stuff. There's the friends recipe, which is a self-spreading plant with the jovial one. So it'll just create a bunch of different plants that'll say hello to you in various ways. And then there's the ultimate farmer plant, which is the sprinkler plus mole plus wanderer plus grabber. That will make it so that, it does everything. It can just plant stuff. So yeah, hopefully we'll get to some of that today. But I think the thing I want to do first is I want to make it so that we can actually select these tools and do stuff with them, because then we can get into the real planting stuff. Does that sound good to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So to do this, I think what we're going to do is we're going to store in the currently selected tool. So to do that, I'm going to go into variables and create a new one called selected. I tried to decide. So my original plan was that we would have an A button here and a B button here, and then you could select one for A and one for B. Does that sound like fun, or what do you guys think?
Well, we are trying to, push the fold on farming games, and most farming games don't have the concept of two hands.
I like it. Yeah. They're going to put it on the outside of our box. Finally, farming with two hands. Cool. Okay. So let's do that then. I think what we're going to do is we're going to draw a little piece of HUD down here. And it's going to give us display our currently equipped items. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We're going to go back to variables. We're going to create two. One is going to be A hand. And the next one is going to be B hand. And I think what we're going to do is when you have the inventory open, right now we have an index somewhere. Let me see. Where is I need to do it, Daryl. I only get half a Daryl. There's a Daryl.
That's a Daryl.
Thank you, Daryl.
So many is
Yeah, I have so many is talkings because I did actually make one change to the code that was not on stream. And that change was, so we had a problem where if you were talking to the shopkeeper and then you walked away, he would just keep talking even though he wasn't on screen anymore. And so I fixed that. All I did was I put this if shopkeeper data talking around everything that was in the conversation. And it was kind of boring, so I figured not to show it on stream. All right, so inside of our inventory drawing, we have a variable, which is selected index. And this is the selected tool that we have. And so what we want to do is when on A button is pressed, then we want to set our A hand tool to whatever's in the selected index. And when B button is pressed, we want to set our B hand tool to whatever's in the selected index. So let's go ahead and get out some button handlers. Or do we already have one for A? I feel like we must. Yeah. Okay. So right now on A button pressed, we have this stuff that tills the ground. I'm actually going to just remove that for now because we want to tie that to an item, but we're going to just use the A button pressed for doing equipping stuff right now, and then we'll actually make it do tool stuff. So let's go ahead and go into here, and I think I have a variable that's like inventory open. inventory visible. So if the inventory is visible and the A button is pressed, then we're going to use our A hand tool variable. And we're going to set it to whatever tool is at the selected index. So I'm going to go into arrays and do a get value at, change this to be tools. And for the value, we're going to use our selected index. Cool. OK, let's do the same thing for B. All right. So that's pretty cool. But let's actually show the user what they have equipped. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do another render on Z index. This helpful block is from Joey's extension, Sprite Utils, and it lets you draw stuff to the screen, which is really nice. So I'm going to take this render on Z index and I'm going to make it lower. And I'm thinking I'm just going to draw the tools right here with an A and then right here with a B, and then just draw the images. And that should hopefully look pretty nice. All right. So we want to first fill a rectangle to draw the thing on top of. All of our tools are 16 by 16. So I'm just going to give it a bit of padding. I think I'm going to make it, for height, I'm going to do 20. And then I'm going to give it, I want to give it the same amount of padding. So 20 plus like the length of a letter, because I'm going to draw the button, letter. So I'm going to make it like 26. Sorry, I meant this to be the width and height. For X and Y, I want it to be kind of at the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to set the X to be like 2, and I'm going to set the Y to be, let's see, 120 minus the height is 100, minus 2 is 98.
That's some fast math.
Fast math. That's what people come for. Cool. All right. So we got our little rectangle down there. And to make it a bit clearer, I'm actually going to also do this draw rectangle thing. So just going to put in the same values. And draw rectangle is like fill rectangle, but it only draws the border. So there we go. All right. So now we want to draw our A hand tool. So I'm going to go into logic, and I'm going to grab an if statement. And I'm going to check to make sure our A hand tool exists. If it does, then I'm going to take this block and duplicate it. And I'm going to draw our image from our A hand tool to the screen. And then for this, I'm going to just put in some values. So this is at 298. We added, let's see, looks like 4 padding for each. So that means we want to add 2 to these numbers. So for X, I'm going to do 4. For Y, I'm going to do 100. And nothing happened. Let's equip a tool. Nice. All right, so that's pretty cool. But let's go ahead and put an A there so that you know that this is the A tool. So for that, I'm going to use this print screen block. And I'm going to print it with the brown color. It's going to print it capital A. And then I want to do it at, let's see, let's make the Y 98, and the X would be like 2 plus 26 is 28. And then we want to subtract like 6 from that, so like 22. And we'll see how that looks. Oh, wait, I don't want this to be inside here. I want it to be like up here. Yeah, not great. So let's subtract a few from this. Make this 20, and we'll make this, I don't know, we want to add like a few to this, so like 102. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to make this brown, and then I want to make this with the tan color, so it's like inverted. Yeah, that's going to look awesome. All right, so I'm going to do another fill rectangle. I'll set this to be brown. let's see, where does this start? 20, so I want to set this to be 19, and then the Y should be 98. The height should be the same, and then the width should be, let's see, 2 plus 26 is 28, should be 8. Cool. And then I'm going to change this to be this color. Nice. And it looks like I can add like 1 to this. So I'll make this 21, and I'll make this 20. No, I can even add 1 more. Let's do it. I want to make sure there's enough room for the image, so I'm going to, push it over as much as I can. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that fast math. Yeah,
I'm pretty good at fast math when it's adding 1 to something.
All right, cool. So let's equip the thing real quick and make sure that it looks okay. Yeah, it looks cool. And so let's draw the B button now, which is basically just going to be the same bit of code. So I'm actually just going to duplicate this whole thing and copy this down here. And then we're just going to add, I don't know, something to the X value. So let's see, this one is 2 plus the width is 26. So this one ends at 28 pixels. We had 2 plus 26. So let's give them like 2 in between. So we want to add 30 to all of these. So we're just going to make this 32, 32, 51, 52, 34, not 434, just 34. And we're going to change this to be B, and then change this to be B hand tool, and change this to be B hand tool. And just like that, we got 2 of them. Yeah, so now I can go and do watering can, shovel. Nice.
This is awesome.
Double shovel. Shovel treble. All right. Cool. Okay. And by the way, the idea for this came from old Game Boy games for the Legend of Zelda, which used the same thing with A and B. And I always liked it. So
you could say that we transcend the genre of farming games.
Yeah. Farming games, sword games, we'll take them all. And I'm going to, it's bothering me that these guys aren't like centered, so I'm just going to add like 2 to the Y for those letters. Make it 104, 104, and then
Thank you, that was bothering me too.
I'm going to stop and move on, even if it's not perfect.
Better.
Yeah.
Somebody in chat said Link's Awakening. Is that the one that you were thinking of?
Yeah, Link's Awakening, but I was more partial to Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. And then I can also do, let's see, I think I want to change the width of this to be less. So I'm going to make this 7, 7. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, looks good. All right, so now we can equip tools. So let's go ahead and make it so we can actually use our tools. So I'm going to make a new function, and it's going to be called use tool.
I am pro functions. I support this idea.
It's because you want Richard to pay more quarters.
Richard always makes functions, and he always remembers to call it. How infuriating is that?
It's because the quarter system worked. And it's going to take in a sprite, which is tool to use. And now let's go down here, and you know what? I'm actually going to plan ahead. I'm going to make this take in another sprite, which is going to be tool user. And this will make it so that in the future, when we have plants that can use tools, we can just use this function again. So that'll be pretty neat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or multiplayer.
What if our bird is just obsolete, you know?
Well, it's the
It's kinda
best
like-
farm, the farm that farms itself.
Yeah. That's why you don't want to
Take away
write code that
jobs.
writes code, because then you just out of jobs.
Yep. All right. Well, also because Vivian mentioned it, let's go ahead and use this function right now. So we're going to check if the bhand tool exists, and if it does, we're going to call use tool with the bhand tool, and then we want to pass in our player. I think it's called the player. And then we'll do the same thing for A. Oh, this should really be an else if. All right, so now let's go ahead and use this tool. And now this code that I put out of the way before is code I can use. So we're going to go ahead and go to, I think I'm probably going to need this current tile for everything we're doing. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that up top. But instead of the player, I'm going to use the tool user. And now we want to just go over all of our tools and make them do the stuff that they're supposed to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the name out of our tool to use, and then we'll, check to see if it's like the watering can, and then we'll do the watering can thing. So let's go ahead and go into logic and put in an if statement. We're going to go into sprites, and we're going to get some sprite data as string, and we're going to get a comparison block. And we're going to say if tool to use name equals, and we're going to pass in a string, then we'll do whatever the tool should do. So for this one, this is tilling soil, and you till soil with a hoe. So we'll go ahead and put in hoe. And let's see if this works. So pressing A, nothing's happening. Going to go into menu, going to equip the hoe to A. Now, tilling up a storm. Let's do the same thing with B. Till. Cool. All right. That's awesome. So let's do our other tools. So with the shovel, we want to be able to turn regular grass into soil. So let's do that one next. I'm not going to do else ifs just because it's easier for me to just copy and paste this. All right, so this one's a shovel. We want to check if our current tile is grass. Yeah. And then we want to set it to be dirt.
Our farm can grow now.
Yeah. All right, I think we're going to need a tool to clear out all of this junk that we've got. So what should that be, you guys?
A hatchet? I just want to see a crow using a hatchet, to be honest.
Yeah, that makes sense for the logs. And then for the stones, we could do like a pickaxe, maybe?
Very logical.
Yeah, all right. Who wants to draw what?
I'll make a pickaxe because I don't know what a hatchet is.
All right.
I can do a hatchet.
Thank you, Joey. 16 by 16. Cool. Okay. So we've got those going. Now I want to get to the next thing that we're going to do, which is actually planting seeds. So we could do watering in a second, but it's going to be more fun if we actually have some seeds. So let's do that. And to do this, what I think I'm going to do is right now we are creating seeds, and they are just like these tools. They go into our tools array, which should probably be called inventory or something that makes more sense. And then you can use them. But we need to, with all the seeds, the using is pretty much going to be the same. It's just really going to depend on, what type of seed we have selected. So instead of checking all of their names, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our function that creates a seed, which is right here, this get random seed. It's a pun. And I'm going to take our new seed and I'm going to give it a Boolean property. There we go. Which is seed. And I'm going to set that to true. And the neat thing about Booleans is that these Boolean properties is that if I haven't set is seed to be true, then if I check it on something else, it'll return false. So I don't actually need to go and set is seed is false on all of the other ones. You only need to set it if it's true. All right, cool. So that works. Let's go over here, and we're going to now do this is seed check at the bottom. So instead of doing this tool name, I'm going to go ahead and get the Boolean property. Tool to use is seed. And then we are going to check to see if we are at tilled soil. And then we will plant it, which, that's code we need to write. I don't know how to do that real quick. Before I do that, though, I want to make sure I can test this code. So instead of having to go and buy seeds every time, I'm just going to go ahead and give myself some seeds.
Richard, I think this is one thing that I am very impressed with your driving, is you always make it easier to test. I don't appreciate it enough until I don't do it. So.
Thank you.
Very nice.
All right, so we're going to call getRandomSeed, and we're going to add it to our tools array. So let me just go into arrays, do a add value to end, change this to tools, and we'll call getRandomSeed. And now if I press menu, I got some seeds. Nice. Okay. And I think the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with stuff equipped, because it's annoying that I have to equip stuff every time. So I'm going to go ahead and set our A hand tool and B hand tool. So let's do that. I'm going to go into tools and do a get value at. And we will set our B hand tool to be the seed. So that'll be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll set our A hand tool to be the hoe. So that'll be 0, 1, 2. Oh. Whoops. So I need to actually put that up here, and I need to set this first one to be A hand tool, not B hand tool. There we go. Cool. All right. Got the hoe. Got the seeds. Let's go ahead and plant these seeds. All right. So I'm trying to think of how to do this seed growing. I was thinking about this the other day, and we could do it with sprites. That would be one way to do it. That would make sense. But I'm worried that we're going to end up creating a ton of sprites if you have a lot of things growing at once,
Yeah.
So it would be much more efficient to do it with tiles. What do you guys think?
I think I like tiles.
All right, we'll do it with tiles, and we'll see how it goes. So to do that, what I'm going to do is we're going to have to create tiles for our plants. And you know what? We don't actually need to do that. We can just set the image, so that should be fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to this scene, and we're going to do a set at right here. We're going to change this one to be current tile. And then for the image, we want to set it to the image of the plant growing. So I'm going to switch over to the asset editor right now to show you that we have some assets. So these are plants that were drawn by Vivian, plus the purple plant, I believe, is by Shannon. And this one right here is our self-spreading plant. We've got different stages of it. So this is like the beginning, then it starts to sprout a bit, and sprouts some more, then it's up here. And we'll get it to, you know, start spreading and everything, but that's how it's going to work. So I'm actually going to go ahead and create some tiles now that are this plant growing. So I'm going to go into here, I'm going to click Edit, and I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to click this New Asset button, create a tile, and I'm going to paste it. We want it to look like our ground, so I'm going to actually put that in there. And I'm going to like, Hmm. I'm going to make the dirt look loamy.
What was that?
Loamy?
What's
Full of loams.
What's a loam?
Loamy means it's just like, it's like moist soil.
Oh.
If you're playing Animal Crossing, you should know this one, I think.
What? You don't do that much tilling in Animal Crossing?
I don't know, it feels like an Animal Crossing word to me.
Where did you learn that word, Richard? Who taught it to you?
Probably books.
Oh no.
Wait, what happened?
What happened?
To
Oh
the
no, here it
bottom.
is. I couldn't find it. And I was like, oh, we have a bug, but we do not have a bug. Well, we do have a bug, but it's my eyes.
No
All
fixing
right.
that.
Move this up a pixel, and I'm going to change that to brown. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it now for stage 2. Going to go ahead, edit, copy. And I'll probably do the rest of these off stream, just, you know, to be faster, but I'll do the self-spreading plant now. Go ahead and do new asset, make it a tile, paste it up, go up here, make it brown, loam it up.
We lost some of it, didn't we?
Oh yeah, I had brown at the top.
You can change it to be whatever color you want.
It's red now.
Do you guys want some fun facts about loam?
Yes,
Sure.
please.
So loam is, it's kind of like generally healthy-ish soil, but it also has a very kind of specific composition. So it's about 40% sand, 40% silt, 20% clay, ideally. That's like your ideal loam, apparently.
Daryl, is this something you just know?
No, I'm on Wikipedia.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
You could have said yes, and I would have believed you. If anyone knows off the top of their head the composition of loam, it would be Daryl.
All right, I'm just gonna actually duplicate this, and then I'm going to edit, and then I'm going to paste, and I'm gonna put that right there, and then I'm going to fix it. And yay, faster! We got workflows.
High efficiency. Is workflow the fancier way to say high efficiency?
Possibly.
Good to know.
Efficiency is pretty fancy.
I don't know.
No?
I feel like if you want to be fancy about it, you should have an efficient word to describe the thing.
Do you guys know what the difference between silt and sand and clay is?
Nope.
No.
Apparently,
Wait, Shannon knows? Oh.
Is it grain size?
it is. Apparently, it's just grain size. So there's like a sand, silt, clay in progressively larger granules.
Wait, so sand and clay are the same thing almost?
I don't know. I gotta dig deeper.
I mean, wet, like, if you're at a beach and you take away the top layer of sand to like the wet sand, that stuff is kind of like clay.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Does that mean if I strike clay with lightning, I'll get glass?
We get something cool, probably.
All right. We got our plant tile. So for now, we're just going to hard code it. We're going to set this to be this. And yeah, let's plant some seeds. Doop, 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 doop. Oh, whoops. Till. Seed. Cool. Yeah. All right. Now we just got to make them grow. So I think that I want to do like a day-night structure.
Wait, I had the ordering backwards. Clay is the finest, and then silt, and then sand. Sand is the coarsest.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because clay is the closest together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the most fun to play with.
Sand's
Would
pretty
not
fun.
eat. Okay.
Don't eat it.
All right, cool. So we've planted some seeds and we've got that growing. Now I think we want to do some day-night stuff, but first, do I have tools in the chat?
You
Yeah.
do have tools.
All right, first up, we've got a hatchet from Joey. So let's go here. We're going to go ahead and duplicate this, but get rid of this. Get a new image. And yeah, that's a great hatchet.
You can hatch things with it.
True enough. So we'll go ahead and create that and add it. So let's go ahead now and add the next one from Vivian. Duplicate.
Oh no! Wait. Oh, we have a flip function. Okay. Cool.
Pickaxe.
Will you flip it?
You want me to flip it?
Yes, please.
Upside down?
It matches everybody now, right? Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right. And we're also going to fix this. So we just added 2. So I'm going to add 2 to my B-hand tool. And this will make it now that the seeds are selected again. Cool. All right. So now if I go into menu, you see I've got my hatchet and my pickaxe. And let's go ahead now and, oh, we're finally going to have to deal with going off the edge.
Ooh, oh no.
Oh, no. Well, that'll be a thing for tomorrow. So let's go ahead and actually make the hatchet and pickaxe work right now. So this one's going to work a little bit different because we actually want to not affect the tile we're on, but the tile we're facing. Luckily, though, that's going to be pretty easy to do. So let's go ahead and go here. We're going to say if the name is equal to, we'll do the hatchet first. Then what we want to do is we want to check which direction we're facing. And to do that, we can use the character extension, which has a nice little thing for checking stuff. So I can say facing up or facing left, all of those things. We want to change this to be our tool user. We're going to do a logic right here. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, right here. I'm going to keep this. Then we're going to do facing up. Facing right. Facing down. And the last one will be facing left. And then we're inside of tile maps, we're going to just go ahead and get the location that is in that direction. So that's right here. So we can go ahead and take our current tile variable and put it in the location to top of our current tile.
You scrolled past it.
I know, it's alphabetized. I only remember that after I start scrolling.
Yeah. You want to, it's high efficient. It's workflow.
Sure, let's go with that. All right, we're gonna check to see if it is this tile, and if it is, then we're gonna set it to dirt. And we can do the same thing for our other tool. So I'll just duplicate this mess. Go down here, make this pickaxe. And then we will instead check to see if it's a rock. Let's test it out. Hatchet. Pickaxe. Chop. 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 Wait. Chop. Chop, 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 chop. I messed up.
No.
Let's see. Facing up, facing right, facing down. I'm facing down.
If you're slightly to the left, will it? No.
Where do you set current tile? Is at the beginning?
Yeah, current tile is location of tool user.
Is the pick also broken?
Well, now it's not working at all. Oh, I should also probably turn off the wall on that tile. I don't think that was the issue, but it is an issue. Oh, whoops, gotta equip my stuff.
Does facing up count if you're like also like pushing the up button and you're like trying to move?
It's a good question. Well, let's just make it match our rules then. Oh. Okay, so if all these are failing, then that means I can always do to the left. So it does think I'm facing some direction. I could debug this extension. It would take a while.
You had to add an experiment. That's a lot.
So instead, magic.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, you can do a whirlwind attack with the pickaxe and the.
That's what I'm doing.
Nice.
This won't quite work. So I need to. Well, actually, what I think I'll do is I'll use an array. And we'll do it like this. Nice. Get rid of this, this, and do a for of loop. There we go. And then for each of them, we will just take this and switch out current tile with value.
Workflows.
and then get rid of that. All right, and you know what? I can actually just put this at the top of the function since it's going to be used by multiple of these statements. So nice. Now our code is more compact. And you get a neat whirlwind attack.
Now just imagine not only a crow swinging a hatchet, but a crow swinging a hatchet, kind of like Link swinging the sword around when you hold it down. It's beautiful.
And it's dual wielding, you know? Maybe a hatchet and pickaxe, both attacking in a whirlwind pattern.
I forgot we did have two hands. This is even better.
This is why it's called the murder of crows. Murder
Yeah, I'll
those
say.
logs.
All crows are actually assassins. That does make sense.
Cool. Yeah. All right. That works pretty well. Neat. Okay. Well, that's that. Let's go ahead and get rid of this now. And then all of this stuff. And let's see. Do we have time left to do anything else? Well, we're running out of time. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to real quick try and fix the inventory as fast as I can. And then for tomorrow, we're either going to do an art stream where we're going to draw RPG versions of ourselves. Look forward to that. Well, wait. Tomorrow's
Shannon won't
Thursday.
be here.
It's not going to be here. Friday, we're going to do that. And tomorrow we'll do a day-night cycle and start doing the seeds actually growing. I'm going to try and fix this real quick, and let's see if I can do it. So right now we're just doing this index for the length of the array of tools, and the maximum amount we can draw right now are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the sixth one actually overflows, but I'm going to just not count that, and I'm going to make this a bit wider later. So we have a maximum number of 6, and the problem is going to show up as soon as we add a 7th tool. So let me go ahead and do that. Double pickaxe. Cool. Now, all right, we got 2 pickaxes, and oh no, that's a little bit too far over. So to fix that, because the maximum number of columns we can have is 6, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to split this out, and instead of just doing an index, I'm going to do a column and a row. And to do that, I'm going to make 2 variables, tool column, and tool row. And for tool column, we can use a useful little function called the modulo, but we just know it as a remainder. And if we do the remainder of the index divided by 6, that's going to give us our column. And for the tool row, what we actually want to do is the opposite of that, kinda. We're going to go into here, and we're going to get out an integer divide. And we're going to do an integer divide of our index by 6. And so what this is doing is it's saying that every single time we get past 6, we're going to wrap back around to 0 for the column. But every time we've surpassed a multiple of 6, our tool row is going to go up 1 by 1. So for 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if we divide those by 6, it's less than 1. So our tool row is going to be 0. After that, it's going to be 1. And then this is going to reset back to 0, and then do, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then our tool row is going to go to 2, and 0, 1, 2, 5, so on and so forth. And so for this calculation, I'm actually going to get rid of this index right here, and I'm going to change this to be tool column. And for this tool top, I'm going to do tool top plus our tool row times this same thing, 20. Put that in there. And now we can press menu, and cool, it's wrapping around. But we need to fix our selector now. So to do that, we need to do basically the same thing. We're going to take our selected index instead of the index. So let's just go ahead and duplicate this down. We're going to put our selected index where the index variable is. Then we're going to change this to tool column. And then we're going to, well, I can just copy this. All right, and that should fix that. Cool. We have an annoying thing right now, though, where I can't press down to go down. And so we can fix that later. For now, this is fine. So we might fix that
Maybe
tomorrow.
we can add a nice scrolling movement too when you get over how many? 6 times 4.
I don't think we're going to do scrolling, Joey. I hate to break it to you, but I think we're all right.
Oof.
And actually, I'm going to make this even bigger because I think we can fit 7 columns if I just make this slightly wider. I miscounted before. It should be 7. So, whatever. We'll do that later. Anyway, I'm Richard. At Richard on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Daryl at Darzu on the MakeCode forum.
I'm Joey at JWonderl on the MakeCode forum.
And I'm Shannon at Shakao on the MakeCode forum.
And I'm Vivian at Live Cheerful on the MakeCode forum.
And thanks for tuning in, everybody.